Hey, so I saw Q2's message in modeling tips saying that there's three ways to merge stuff. The flat shading, edge split, which is the one that they apparently prefer, and then there's smooth shading, which is, well, it's its own thing. We're not going to talk about it. Um, but there's also another fourth option, which is a bit more hidden, thanks Blender, which I'm going to show you. So and just so that you know that nothing screwy is going on, I'm gonna also make the model right here. So you scale it by 10, you apply the scale, you inset these faces by 7.5, you bridge edge loops, uh, then you select these faces here, uh, create faces here, delete the remaining faces here, and then extrude that out. We can actually probably get rid of it. No, screw it. Doesn't matter. Anyway, this is our model here, and this is just going to be our default model. I'm going to actually move this in a bit. So this is going to be our default model. I'm going to move it over by 25. And here is going to be the model for our so this right here is our faces or our flat shading. This is going to be our uh, edge split, which Q2 I think uses a modifier for. Let's check if you can actually do that. Okay, so you can do it using edit. I don't prefer it though, and I will show you why in a sec. So first you smooth it out like this, then you apply the edge split modifier. And the reason I don't like this approach is because if you apply it and then you try island selecting like this top face here, it's actually now completely split apart from these faces here. Now granted, all of this can be fixed if you just go to mesh, clean up, and merge by distance. Now it's once again its own smoothed self. Um, but once again, the main reason I don't like this is because it's destructive. Now granted, in Roblox it doesn't matter anyway because they apply an edge split regardless of if you apply an edge split here or not for whatever reason. Thanks Roblox. But anyway, here's another way. So once again, we're gonna take and this is just also baseline. This is just our smooth. And then we get to another method, which is a bit hidden by Blender for, once again, weird reasons. It should honestly be, like, better. Also, let me double check the... Yeah, I'm recording this for, like, the fourth time. I had problems with normals before. For those that know it, you know my pain. So we go over here into this object data properties. Under normals, you enable auto smooth. Blammo. So if we go into here and we try and island select this top face, it is still connected. It is still very wrong keybind. It is still very nice. Uh, now here's where things get interesting. First of all, if you with this auto smooth option enabled, if you select these edges, for example, and you mark them as sharp, they will actually be sharp. So that's the first thing. Second thing, if we, for example, take this and just, move it out. So I'm going to move it like this. So let's get rid of all the other. So I'm going to clear sharp right here. So nothing is marked sharp right now. So over here, we have another slider. The angle slider. By default, it's set to 30. Any angle between two faces, such as this face and this face, any angle between them, if it is less than 30, it will be marked as smooth. If it is more than 30, like here, between these two faces, it is going to be marked sharp. So here you can see between these two, it's apparently less than 30 degrees, so it's marked smooth. So it's smooth. But here it's less, or sorry, here it's less than 30. Here it's more than 30, so it's marked sharp. Now, because this is a variable input, we can change it. So if we go ahead and just start decreasing this angle, you will see that eventually this edge here will become, well, sharp. So smoothing no longer applies to that. Once again, if we just keep going further and further and further, eventually everything, like all these faces, will be, well, flat, as though they're flat. On the contrary, if we set it back to 30, if we want to, for example, make this smooth, we can start cranking up that value. So at some point, that will also become smoothed. And now, finally, just to let's reset this back to 30. So remember, this angle here is smooth, this angle here is sharp. So if we just take this and we export it as an OBJ, so dank.obj, and then we go into optimization testing, and we import it. So I'm going to scale it because it is very large in Blender. I'm not going to reposition it though. So here we can see that these models are exactly the same as they were in Blender. So this one is the flat shaded. This is the edge split. This is the smooth shading, which just generally looks really weird. And then there's this one, which is still shaded exactly how it was shaded in Blender. So if I also put a surface light, just so that you can see. So here, as you can see, it is smooth shaded. Here, it's still like sharp. Unlike here, where if we go to, where the hell is it? Oh, well, honestly for this one, any angle, so here it attempts to shade it. It tries to do it, but ultimately it ends up looking funky. Now, I do want to point out that between the edge split and the like and the fourth method that I mentioned, there is visually no difference. And honestly, because it's being imported into Roblox, there's also like no physical difference because this top face is most likely also edge split away from these faces, just because Roblox does it for whatever freaking reason. But if we go back into Blender once again, this method here is a lot less destructive. Like you can still move this. Whereas if I were to apply this, this would be like weird. Anyway, that's it for Carmi's tutorials. Have fun. See ya.